I've always been fond of fishes, and my first memory of fishes is of a small, colorful, shimmering fish that a fisherman in Sicily put into my fins that were filled with water at the heel. During my studies, I attended every marine biology course I could afford and dived in the coral reefs of the Red Sea. Later, I came into close contact with the food fish industry and the overfishing of the seas. But hardly anyone talked about fishing in coral reefs, especially not about fishing for aquaria. So one day in 2010, I started digging into this issue. All this led me to where I am today, here in front of you defending my doctoral thesis. Thank you very much for being here. I especially thank my panel, my supervisor, Dr. Wolfgang Nentwig, Professor of Community Ecology at the University of Bern. The external co-referee is Dr. Patricia Holm, Professor of the Men's Society Environment Program at the University of Basel, and the chairman is Dr. Raphael Arletta, Professor of Conservation Biology at the University of Bern. Coral reefs are one of the most diverse ecosystems on this earth and are therefore also called the rainforests of the sea. Over 4,000 fish species, 800 scleractinian coral species, and a myriad of other invertebrates live in coral reefs. Coral reefs are nursery grounds for a lot of food fishes, although they only cover less than 0.1% of ocean floors. They face many threats: pollution, coastal construction for tourism, climate change, acidification, but also overcollection of coral organisms for the aquarium trade can have a significant impact on both population viability and the wider ecological system. Today, 90% of the original area of coral reefs has been destroyed. 15% are seriously threatened with loss within the next 10 to 20 years, and 20% are under threat of loss in 20 to 40 years due to anthropogenic pressure. Coral fishes are one of the most valuable products in coral reefs, and the trade in these species is financially very strong. In 2000, 1 kilogram of coral reef fish for the aquarium trade sold for $500, whereas food fish sold for $6. The vast majority of fishes for marine aquariums come from the wild, and only 1% about 25 species are commercially produced and readily available in the US. Over-collecting can have a significant impact on this ecosystem. The trade with coral reef fishes for aquariums started in the 1930s and remained practically unmonitored over all this time. Estimates say that in 2003, about 20 to 24 million, and in 2017, already 40 million specimens were traded annually, and also the number of species traded has increased over the years, going from 1,000 in 2001 to 1,750 in 2004-2005 to 2,300 species in 2011. Also, the beginning of the century, there were about 2 million private and over 1,000 public aquariums worldwide. The mortality in the supply chain can be very high, and although prohibited, marine ornamental fishes are still caught with destructive fishing practices like cyanide fishing in some areas, causing major impact on the reefs. And now to give you a brief impression of what awaits you. The background and goal of this research, literature review and theoretical framework, methodology, findings like origin, volume, diversity, conservation, and a watch list, recommendations, and implications for practice and future research.